1969 didn't ease in. It surged. This was the year everything came together and then started pulling apart at the same time. You had 400,000 people gathering peacefully at Woodstock, and just 4 months later, violence breaking out at Altamont. So when you listen to the music from 1969, you're hearing both sides of that story: hope and tension. Let's start with something that feels like pure lift. Come Together. The Beatles released in October of 1969. Part of Abbey Road, the last album they recorded together as a band. And by this point, the Beatles weren't really functioning as a unit anymore. Different sessions, different priorities. But this track still locks in. That opening bass line, simple, controlled, deliberate. The lyrics, loose, abstract, almost fragmented. That wasn't accidental. John Lennon originally began writing this for a political campaign slogan. It evolved into something more cryptic. And there's one more detail most people miss. This song triggered a copyright lawsuit years later for similarities to Chuck Berry's "You Can't Catch Me." So even at the top, there were cracks forming. Proud Mary, Creedence Clearwater Revival, released January 1969. Hit number 2 on the charts. And here's what makes it important. CCR sounded nothing like what was trending. While other bands were leaning into psychedelia, CCR went the opposite direction. Stripped down, roots-driven, American. John Fogerty wrote this imagining a riverboat worker. But the key line? Rollin' on the river. There's no river in the song's setting. It's not literal. It's movement, forward motion. And in 1969, that idea connected. Whole Lotta Love. Led Zeppelin released in late 1969. And this is where things get heavier. That opening riff, built on distortion and repetition. But the middle section, that's where it breaks from structure, studio effects, panning, layered sound design. This wasn't just a rock song, it was a production experiment. Also worth noting, this song later led to a songwriting credit dispute with Willie Dixon due to similarities with earlier blues material, which tells you something important. 1969 rock was still deeply rooted in blues, but starting to push beyond it. Bad Moon Rising, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Another CCR track, but completely different tone. Released April 1969, and it sounds upbeat, almost cheerful. But listen to the lyrics. Bad Moon on the Rise, it's about disaster, apocalypse imagery, storms, chaos. And that contrast, bright sound, dark message, that becomes a defining pattern in late 60s music. Everyday People, Sly and the Family Stone, released late 1968, but dominated charts in early 1969, hitting number 1. And structurally, this song is incredibly simple. But what makes it important is who's in the band. Men and women, black and white musicians, all on the same stage. That wasn't common. And the message, I am no better and neither are you. Direct, accessible, and built for wide audience reach. Fortunate Son, Creedence Clearwater Revival, released in September 1969. And this one doesn't hide anything. This is one of the most direct protest songs of the era, targeting class inequality during the Vietnam War. Specifically, who was being drafted and who wasn't. No metaphor, no abstraction, just statement. And that clarity is what made it stick. Space Oddity, David Bowie, released in 1969, right around the Apollo 11 moon landing. And timing mattered. This song was picked up by the BBC during their coverage of the mission, which gave it immediate exposure. But lyrically, it's not a celebration. Major Tom doesn't return. He drifts. So while the world is watching a successful moon landing, this song imagines isolation instead. That contrast is what gives it staying power. Gimme Shelter, the Rolling Stones, released at the end of 1969, and you can hear the shift immediately. This isn't polished, it's tense. That opening guitar tone, unsettled. And then Mary Clayton's vocal comes in, recorded in a late-night session. She was called in, reportedly pregnant, still in curlers, and delivered one of the most intense vocal performances ever recorded. Her voice cracks on the word murder. They kept it because it worked. And that moment, that's 1969 in a single sound. Aquarius / Let the Sunshine In, the fifth dimension from the musical Hair, hit number 1. And it represents the other side of 1969. Optimism, astrology, harmony, Unity. This is the Woodstock side of the story, the belief that something better was coming. And for a moment, people believed it. Honky Tonk Women, the Rolling Stones released mid-1969, #1 hit. And this is where you see another shift. Country influence entering mainstream rock more directly. The rhythm is looser, the groove is different. This wasn't just British rock anymore. It was blending with American styles in new ways. Closing. So what defines 1969 when you actually break it down? You get two parallel tracks, one pushing forward, innovation, freedom, expansion, the other pulling back, tension, conflict, fragmentation. And music reflects both, not subtly, directly. By the end of 1969, rock music isn't just evolving, it's splitting into directions. Harder, softer, more political, more experimental. And that fragmentation, that's what defines the 1970s. If one of these songs hits differently now that you know what was behind it, drop it in the comments. Because next up, and everything resets. Keep that turntable spinning.